Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a seriously terrifying supernatural cycle, and it all starts right in the middle of a dark, completely isolated road. We're going to unpack a legendary, chilling case study from the Deara Dune Highway, where a simple, innocent drive turns into an absolute, inescapable nightmare. We'll be breaking down the anatomy of a curse, really going step by step to figure out exactly how this thing operates. So let's just get right into it. Picture this. You've got two friends, Ankit and Rohit. They're driving down this muddy, unpaved shortcut. It is pitch black outside. There's this thick, damp smell in the air, and bugs are just constantly smacking into their windshield. They turn on the radio, right? And they hear this exact chilling broadcast warning travelers about some recent disappearances. Naturally, they laugh it off. They think it's just nonsense. But this perfectly sets the stage for the nightmare that's coming. The real eerie irony here is that they're driving directly into a trap, totally unaware that they're about to become part of the very statistic they were just laughing at. Section 2. The Devil's Laid Trap. Anatomy of an Ambush. So you might be wondering, how exactly does an ancient entity secure its prey in the modern world? Well, it's actually not through brute force at all. It's way more psychological than that. Here are the very calculated steps it takes to separate people. Step 1. Ankit suddenly has to slam on his brakes because, out of nowhere, an old man is standing dead center in the road, weaving his arms. Step 2. The man looks completely exhausted. His eyes are strange and look like he hasn't slept in days, and he plays the ultimate sympathy card. Step 3. He leverages that exact sympathy to pull them away from safety. It takes advantage of our most basic human empathy, completely manipulating the instinct that makes us want to help someone in distress. He says, "Son, my wife is very sick. I've been waiting here for you. She's in a lot of pain. If you could just help a little, God will bless you." This is the deceptive, truly chilling plea the old man delivers. Now Ankit is being rational, warning his friend that literally no one lives out in these desolate woods, but Rohit's humanity totally overrides his logic. He steps out of the car to follow the old man, and in doing so, he seals his ultimate fate. Section 3. The Horrifying Scene and Escape. Into the woods. Okay, so the two men disappear into this faint flashlight beam, leaving Ankit all alone in the stifling silence of his car. 30 agonizing minutes pass. At this point, the ticking of his watch starts sounding like needles in his ears. Ankit finally grabs his own flashlight and creeps out into the woods, where he hears this sickening sound, like a wild wolf just chewing on raw meat. The beam of his flashlight hits them, revealing the terrifying duality of this trap. The frail old man is gone. In his place is this demon with long, sharp teeth and glowing red eyes, sitting right on top of Rohit, tearing into his flesh. The entity lifts its head, thick red blood dripping from its mouth, and lets out this horrific laugh that just echoes through the entire forest. As Ankit is slowly backing away, snap. A dry twig breaks under his foot. The creature's head whips right toward him. "Son, now it's your turn to help, right?" Oh man. Ankit just drops his flashlight in pure panic and bolts. He's sprinting blindly through the woods. Branches are slashing his face left and right. He somehow manages to reach his car. He turns the key, but the engine stalls. The stench of rotting meat suddenly fills the air. And then, the old man is standing directly in front of his headlights, staring right into his soul. By sheer luck, Ankit turns the key one last time. The engine actually roars to life, and he speeds away into the night. Moving on to Section 4. The 1948 Cannibal Mystery, Uncovering the Lore. Now, Ankit thinks he's finally escaped back to the safety of his apartment in the city. But as you'll see, escaping the woods definitely doesn't mean he escaped the monster. 3 days after the incident, the ticking clock on his wall just stops. There's a slow knock at the door, accompanied by the old man's voice. But when he looks, no one is there. There's just a half-burnt piece of cloth on the floor, and when he picks it up, he hears a woman's faint groan. Absolutely terrified, Ankit hops online and does a quick web search for Deara Dune Wild Cannibal Case, 1948, which reveals the incredibly dark history of the very road he was driving on. So, what did he find? The search reveals the dark foundation of this entire curse. Back in 1948, this couple named Ramesh and Lalita operated in that exact same area. Their method? Luring travelers to their home under the guise of needing help, only to murder and consume them. Eventually, they were caught red-handed by a local mob and were actually burned alive. Ever since that fiery execution, the area became known as the Devil's Trail. This couple basically initiated an inescapable cycle of violence that transcended their physical depths, binding their hungry spirits to that road forever. Section 5. Ankit's terrifying transformation. The curse takes hold. Let's track Ankit's timeline here, because his rapid descent into madness is unbelievable. Knowing the lore is one thing, but surviving its parasitic nature, totally different story. What starts as a lucky escape degrades so fast. 3 days later, the paranormal activity breaches his home. Fast forward 3 weeks, and Ankit isn't just a victim anymore. The city itself begins experiencing brand new disappearances. The supernatural entity completely shatters Ankit's reality, entirely blurring the lines between the hunted and the hunter. The details of his deterioration are just staggering. He completely loses the ability to sleep, unending insomnia. His skin tightly clings to his bones, like all the blood has literally been drained from his body. Bizarre things start plaguing his apartment too, drops of blood falling from the ceiling. And horrifyingly, when he looks into the mirror, it's not his own face looking back at him. It's the smiling old man asking, "Now you will help, won't you?" right before the glass shatters. Ankit comes to this horrific realization. He has lost total bodily autonomy. He is essentially sharing his physical form with a demonic parasite. And here is the ultimate, heartbreaking tragedy of the story. The survivor is forcefully transformed into the exact thing he ran from. He starts muttering to himself during the day, claiming he didn't kill anyone, saying the shadow forces him to do it or else it will eat him too. CCTV footage from the city streets captures this chilling sight. A lone man walking, followed closely by 2 distinct shadows, one of an old man and one of a young man, their eyes glowing a sinister red in the dark. It all reaches a breaking point when neighbors start calling in about the intense stench of blood coming from Ankit's apartment. When the police finally kick the door in, they find nothing. It's completely empty. Ankit is gone. But written across the wall in fresh blood is this chilling final message. Now this offering is yours. The physical vessel of Ankit has been entirely consumed and repurposed by the ghosts of Ramesh and Lalita. Section 6, The Devil's New Return. The cycle restarts. Fast forward a few months later, the entity, which is now wearing a brand new face, returns to its old hunting grounds. So, we have to ask, who is the new prey? Well, it's late at night on the Dehradun highway. Heavy fog has rolled in, the air is damp again, and a new car is making its way down the road. Inside, you have 2 young men laughing and chatting, completely oblivious to the dark history of the dirt right beneath their tires. Suddenly, their headlights catch a figure standing in the middle of the road, weaving his arms for them to stop. The driver slams on the brakes. Standing out there in the thick fog, wearing tattered clothes, is a man with trembling lips. He looks at them and says the exact same words. "Son, my wife is sick. Please help me." But as the man lifts his head, the driver instantly recognizes the face from the local news. It's Ankit. And reflecting the harsh glare of the headlights, Ankit's eyes are glowing a familiar, terrifying, demonic red. He is now flawlessly executing the exact same trap that doomed his best friend. It really brings us to a haunting realization about how this supernatural legend actually works. You see, the spirits of those 1948 cannibals don't just consume flesh, they consume your humanity. They turn their surviving victims into their next bait, which leaves us with this final chilling question to ponder today. Will the cycle of the Devil's Trail ever truly be broken? Or are we all just future prey, literally one wrong turn away from becoming the next shadow on the road? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the unknown on The Explainer. Stay curious out there, and maybe, just maybe, keep driving if you see someone waiting in the dark.